Welcome to my world history notes, where I read from the book I wrote to teach homeschoolers world history. A Bible Believer Looks at World History, which you can buy on lulu.com, amazon.com, or the Bible Baptist Bookstore. Just follow me here. And today we're going to start about some early medieval reformers of Christianity in Europe. And we're going to begin with these just an introduction, and then we'll go on in more detail. Two of the most notable names of reformers from the Middle Ages were Wycliffe and Huss. Jan Hus was a Protestant reformer born in Bohemia, now a part of the Czech Republic. The city of Prague might help you find it on the map, as that city is almost in the geographical center of Bohemia. Jan Hus started a movement based on the actions of John Wycliffe in England, which brought him into direct opposition to the Pope and the church hierarchy. One of his more famous statements was his indulgences, taken literally from the writings of Wycliffe, which stated that no Christian bishop or pope had the right to take up the sword in the name of the church, but to pray for their enemies and those that would curse them. They objected to the temporal power of the church in assigning life and death to theological issues. He was excommunicated in 1411 and burned at the stake in 1415. His followers became known as Hussites, who actually followed the teachings of John Wycliffe strictly. Their cornerstone was freedom to preach the word of God. Now back to Wycliffe. From the 12th to the 14th century, Old English became Middle English. Our language fundamentally changed, particularly in spelling. For example, Old English CWEN became Middle English Queen. The narrow Germanic base of Old English began as Middle English to include Scandinavian, Latin, and French words, French in particular, because Normans from France had invaded England, and the royalty of England would speak French, for several centuries, fighting many bloody wars over the land holdings they clung to in France, and even stubbornly calling themselves kings of France. In the 13th century, that's the 1200s, the Bible was translated into Anglo-Norman for the upper class to use. French words appearing in our traditional English Bible, King James Bible, have come down to us: crown, majesty, minister, prince, heir, trespass, prison, baptism, etc. During the 14th and 15th centuries, many Latin words were introduced, such as antichrist, pope, priest, scribe, scorpion, conspiracy, relic, idol, etc., etc. Many English words have their base in these other languages. English became a rich language, an international language, and after 1450, modern English began to appear in its purest and highest form, according to many linguists and language historians. There were many English Bibles before Wycliffe. I refer to Scott's The Story of Our English Bible and Dore's Old Bibles, which is actually two separate books using the same title. Um, so, according to Dore, the Lord Chancellor of England in the early 1500s referred to many old Bibles in English written before Wycliffe. Thomas Cranmer is said to have memorized the entire New Testament before he was burned at the stake. He penned the preface to a Bible version called the Great Bible. Now, next, we're going to talk about Wycliffe, and we'll pick that up next time. Thank you for listening and watching, and hope you will study and draw your own conclusions.